Good day everyone, this is our today's presentation about investigation report. An investigation report is a document that details the findings of an investigation as soon as formal complaints, filed or an incident occurs. This is where investigators record the issues of the matter, analyze the evidence, and formulate a conclusion. It is impartial and based on evidence, not on the opinion of an investigator or the parties involved. Sinasabi po dito na ang investigation report daw po ay isang dokumento na nagdidetalye sa nakalap na investigasyon na kung saan ang investigator ay rine-record ang issue of the matter, inaanalisa nila ang ebidensya at nagpo-formulate sila ng conclusion. Ibinabase nila yun sa ebidensya. Hindi nila yung binabase sa sa kanilang sariling opinion o ng investigator o opinion ng nasasangkot sa krimen. An investigation report templates to help investigators ensure a timely, complete, and accurate investigation of an allegation or complaint, streamline evidence collection and investigation reporting. With the use of this template can easily perform the following. Ang investigation report daw po ay naglalayong tulungan ng investigador na siguraduhang kompleto at accurate ang isang investigasyon. Ng isang allegation o kaya naman ay complaint. Ito yung mga template na procedure para mapadali ang mga nakalap nilang investigasyon. Provide general information on the subject of investigation. Kailangan daw po ma-provide ang pinaka general na impormasyon sa subject ng isang investigasyon. Specific the type of case and record the complaint summary. Kailangang i-specify ang type ng kaso at i-record at magawa ng isang complaint summary. Document physical evidence and investigative interviews. Idodokumento po yung mga physical evidence at saka yung mga interview na about sa investigative na imbestiga nila. Identify the disposition of investigation and reach a conclusion. Kailangan po daw alamin ang disposition ng isang investigasyon at gumawa ng isang konklusyon. Complete the investigation report with digital signature. Click preview web to a report. Next is logo image menu resolution resource about the ultimate guide to writing investigation reports. Instruction for writing an investigation report that is clear, complete, and compliant. Posted by Don Lomer on August 2nd, 2016, 3:26. The process of writing the investigative report can sometimes clarify your thinking and can even uncover additional report. Is one of the most tedious tasks of an investigator undertakes. But because it is important showcase of the investigation, you can skimp on the critical investigation step. Your investigation report reflects on you and your investigation. You make sure it is clear, comprehensive, accurate, and polished as possible. An investigative report has many purposes. It's document that sparks some sort of action based on the official findings it presents. This could be a termination of employment, corrective action, implementation of training, counseling, or some other action take based on the findings. Sinasabi dito na ang investigation report daw ay naglalayong tulungan ng Ang investigation report daw po ay nagre-reflect sa iyong investigasyon na nakalap. Kaya dapat siguraduhin malinaw o kaya naman ay accurate o madaling maintindihan ng iyong investigation report. The investigation report is also record of the steps of the investigation. It can be used to provide that your investigation was timely, complete, and fair, that the information contained in the investigation report may be cited in any legal action. So it's important that the report is detailed and accurate, but does not include unnecessary detail that can get the company into trouble. The process of writing the investigation report can sometimes clarify your thinking and can even uncover additional questions that provide new insight into a case. And finally, the investigation report provides valuable data that can be used to implement control and preventive measure in your company. We've compiled a step-by-step framework for writing investigation report that will meet the needs on your supervisors, colleagues, and anyone else who may require it. Before you begin, it's important to understand the three critical tasks of workplace investigative report. It must be organized in a way that anybody internally or externally can understand it without having the reference other materials. It must document the investigative findings objectively and accurately and provide decision makers with enough information to determine whether they should take further action. It must indicate whether the allegation were substantiated, unsubstantiated, or whether there is something missing that is needed to come to conclusion.
The requirements of an investigative report. An investigative report is created with the intent that it may be used in a court of law. It should be succinct and focus on the mission or goal of the investigation. The investigator's primary purpose is to locate information and thus evidence on a precise matter, to recover significant document or recover certain file types, and any date time stamp. The goal of the investigation will be defined by your client. Your client could be internal to the organization you work for or another investigator or lawyer. Sabi po dito, ang investigative report daw po ay maaaring gamitin sa ating court of law. At ang pangunahing trabaho po ng investigator ay ang makahanap ng information sa tamang paraan. Spending time documenting the objective will generally save time to reduce the cost of examination. Always ensure that the investigative report specifies the mission on the investigation. Your report should flow in a matching order, reflecting that of the fact as they were discovered during the investigation. An outline or an arrangement based on the appendices and exhibit is suggested to assist in assembling substance for the report. The report should be written in a logical manner that states the problem, presents the result of the investigation, and sets forth the conclusion and recommendation. A coherent presentation should be used to assemble the fact and evidence. Here is the sample of investigative report. Authority, PNP blotter number, with the subject theft incident with the certification to file action dated on August 1, 2017. Presidential Decree numbers 1612 Anti-Fencing Law of 1979 and Standard Operating Procedures. Matters to be investigated. To determine the surrounding facts and circumstances on the alleged fencing incident that transpired at 11 a.m. of March 12, 2017 at Barangay Palsahingin, Batangas City, perpetrated by Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and a resident of a forested place, particularly at the residence of the victim, Melvin M. Garcia, 33 years old, single, welder and a resident of the same place.
Authority. PNP blotter entry number with subject that theft incident with certification to file action date August 1, 2017. Presidential Decree number 1612, Anti-Fencing Law of 1979 and Standard Operating Procedures. Matters to be investigated. To determine the surrounding facts and circumstances on the alleged fencing incident that transpired at 11 a.m. of March 12, 2017 at Barangay Palsahingin, Batangas City, perpetrated by a certain Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and a resident of a aforesaid place, particularly at the residence of the victim, Melvin M. Garcia, 33 years old, single, welder, and a resident of same place. Facts of the case. At about 6 p.m. of August 1, 2017, Mr. Melvin Garcia Y. Marquez, 23 years old, single and a resident of P1 Barangay Palsahingin, Batangas City, went into this office and requested to put into record that on or about 5 a.m. of May 11, 2017, allegedly he discovered that their house was victimized by a thief that took and carted away his Lenovo tablet worth 2,500 and his brother Richard M. Garcia my phone touchscreen cell phone worth of 1,599. According to Melvin M. Garcia, at 5 a.m. of May 11, 2017 at Barangay Palsahingin, Batangas City, his summer was awakened and he found out that his Lenovo tablet placed beside his pillow was already missing, including the my phone cellular phone of his brother. Richard M. Garcia placed beside their television set at their living room where they slept. Further, they went to Barangay Hall of Barangay Palsahingin, Batangas City, in request to put into record that said incident at the Barangay Blotter book. Moreover, on May 14, 2017, Jordan Abrera informed him that his Lenovo that was taken by his Remer Valdez he saw it in the profession of the latter. Direto at sinumpa ang salaysay ng panghabla. Richard M. Garcia executed a sinumpaang salaysay ng saksi and stated among other this my phone cellular phone was missing, including the Lenovo tablet of his brother Melvin M. Garcia. Further corroborated the statement given by the complainant. Jordan Abrera executed a sinumpaang salaysay ng saksi and stated among others that his cousin Remar Valdez admitted to him that the latter took and carted away the Lenovo tablet of Melvin M. Garcia and my phone, the cellular phone of Richard M. Garcia. Further state that he even saw said tablet in the possession of Romar Valdez. However, he has not seen the cellular phone of Richard Garcia. Barangay Palsahingin Blotter, excerpt numbers 054/A date May 14, 2017 is reto attached in this report. Certification to file action is issued by SRL Quizon, Pangkat Secretary, and attested by Elena B. Bueno, Pangkat Chairman, date July 2014, 2017 is also attached in this report. Certificate of residency of Mark Valdez is attached in this report to ascertain his identity and his address. Photographs of Lenovo tablet and sales invoice receipt of same are attached in this report to determine the amount of the stolen items. In the slide 10 to 13, it is stated the factual and reliable information about the investigation. Additionally, it discusses the issues and circumstances happened in the case to assess the validity of the arguments or information. Moreover, the facts of the case was answered by who, when, what, where, and why. It summarizes the important events in the case.
Discussion. Considering the above facts and circumstances and the accounts of the witnesses in this particular case is clearly shows that respondents Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and resident of Barangay Palsahanginin, Batangas City, has committed the offense charged penalized under Presidential Decree number 1612, also known as Anti-Fencing Law of 1979. Witnesses have never seen the respondent took and carted away said Lenovo tablet and my phone's cellular phone. However, respondent admitted to Jordan S. Abrera that he took the items and furthering, according to Mr. Abrera, he only saw the said tablet is possession of the respondents. Furthermore, respondent has gained from the proceeds of the tablet. According to Mr. Abrera, that the former sold said tablet invited him to drinking session, thus according to the law. Fencing is an act person who will intend gain of himself for another shall by receive, possesses, keep, acquire, conceal, shall by receive, possess, keep, acquire, conceal, sell, or dispose, or shall by and sell, or any others manner, deal, article, item, object, or anything value which he knows or should be known to him to have been derived from the proceeds of the crime, robbery, theft. Presumption of fencing mere possession of any good article, item, object, or anything which value which has been subject robbery or thievery shall be prima facie evidence of fencing. Conclusions. Premises considered, it concluded the respondent Mark Valdez is probably liable for violation of Presidential Decree number 1612, aka Anti-Fencing Law 1979, as discussed above. It is respectfully recommendation that a case violation of PD 1612 be filed against Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and resident Barangay Palsahanginin, Batangas City, before the Office Prosecutor Preliminary Investigation. It is the Mark Valdez, 21 years old, has committed the offense charged penalized under Presidential Decree number 1612, also known as Anti-Fencing Law of 1979. It is clearly defined that respondent intent to gain from the stolen object. Discussion. Considering the above facts and circumstances and the accounts of the witnesses in this particular case is clearly shows that respondents Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and resident of Barangay Palsahanginin, Batangas City, has committed the offense charged penalized under Presidential Decree number 1612, also known as Anti-Fencing Law of 1979. Witnesses have never seen the respondent took and carted away said Lenovo tablet and my phone's cellular phone. However, respondent admitted to Jordan S. Abrera that he took the items and furthering, according to Mr. Abrera, he only saw the said tablet is possession of the respondents. Furthermore, respondent has gained from the proceeds of the tablet. According to Mr. Abrera, that the former sold said tablet invited him to drinking session, thus according to the law. Fencing is an act person who will intend gain of himself for another shall by receive, possesses, keep, acquire, conceal, shall by receive, possess, keep, acquire, conceal, sell, or dispose, or shall by and sell, or any others manner, deal, article, item, object, or anything value which he knows or should be known to him to have been derived from the proceeds of the crime, robbery, theft. Presumption of fencing mere possession of any good article, item, object, or anything which value which has been subject robbery or thievery shall be prima facie evidence of fencing. Conclusions. Premises considered, it concluded the respondent Mark Valdez is probably liable for violation of Presidential Decree number 1612 aka Anti-Fencing Law 1979 as discussed above. 15. It is respectfully recommendation that a case violation of PD 1612 be filed against Mark Valdez, 21 years old, single, jobless, and resident Barangay Palsahanginin, Batangas City before the office prosecutor preliminary investigation. It is the Mark Valdez, 21 years old, has committed the office charge federalized under Presidential Decree number 1612, also known as Anti-Fencing Law of 1979. It is clearly defined that respondent intent to gain from the stolen object.